I've seen so many tax professionals fail their clients because they can't clearly explain this wonderful tax savings to clients. And what I'm talking about is health savings account, HSA. And a lot of these tax professionals, they fail to give the top 5 reasons why clients should know about the HSA. So I'm going to share with you a visual that I use for my clients and also use for my team on training on how to explain health savings accounts to clients. But before I share the visual behind me, I'm an enrolled agent with 20 years of experience in taxes and running my own firm. And I recently sold my firm, so now I'm able to share all my secrets and experiences with you. And here's the visual that I use to share with my clients right here. It's a 2-page PDF, and I could definitely share this with you as well. Just write visual in the comment section and I'll send it over your way. So now let's get to the good part. With this PDF right here that I always share with my clients, actually has the top 5 things that we need to make sure that we discuss with clients so they're aware of the savings and what they need to know about when it comes to health savings account. The first thing I always talk about is they must have a high deductible health plan. This is very important. They must have a high deductible health plan. If they don't have a high deductible health plan, then the conversation doesn't even continue anymore. So if they have a high deductible health plan, then yes, we can continue on with the conversation. The next thing, and the most important thing I always talk about, is that there's a trifecta of tax benefits. Now with this trifecta of tax benefit, we go through why it's different from, say, a traditional IRA versus a Roth IRA versus an HSA. With an HSA, this is the only account that has the 3 benefits of taxes. It's a tax deduction when you deposit into the HSA, all the earnings inside of HSA. So not a lot of people know about this, is that within an HSA, you could actually invest into like funds or something, and it could actually grow as well. And none of that growth is going to be taxable as it's growing. And the third thing is that when the money is taken out, especially if it's used for health reasons, then none of that is taxable. So that's a trifecta when it comes to health savings accounts, these 3 benefits. As opposed to if you did a traditional IRA, you get a tax deduction when you put the money in. It will grow tax-free from the investments. But when you take the money out, it's going to be taxable. And with the Roth IRA, there's no tax deduction when you put the money in, but it does grow tax-free, and when you take the money out, none of that will be taxable. But the HSA is the only one that covers all 3 of those points. So it's really important that I always cover the trifecta tax benefit with the client so they know how great the HSA really is. The third point is that the HSA can be a long-term investment strategy where you use the HSA because in the HSA you can invest in funds. Just keep on contributing money into it and let that sucker grow. Let it grow as much as possible until you really need it for medical expenses. Because all that growth is tax-free. And when you take the money out for medical expenses, none of it will be taxable. And one advice I always give to clients is that you don't even need to use your HSA to pay for medical expenses. That sometimes it's just best to leave the money inside the HSA, pay the medical expenses out of your own pocket, because one of the big advantages of having an HSA is that it could accumulate over time and none of that accumulation is going to be taxable. So you could pay your medical expenses out of your own pocket, but just continue letting the HSA grow more and more, keep on funding it as much as possible and never take any money out until you really, really need it. And the fourth thing I always point out is that the HSA is flexible and portable, meaning that it goes with the client. A lot of clients confuse HSA with FSA, and FSA just means that if you don't use the money by the end of the year, if you don't use it, then you lose it, right? But with HSAs, you keep on accumulating money into it and you never lose it. So even if the client were to leave their job or go elsewhere, that HSA stays with them and it's their account that they control. And the fifth thing I always point out is that it's an extra retirement savings account that not a lot of people think about when it comes to HSAs. Now, I only inform clients just as a kind of like an add-on bonus for the clients to know. And the reason why is because technically, once you reach a certain age with the HSA, you can actually withdraw from it and not pay any penalties. It's still taxable if you don't use it for medical, but you can still withdraw for it and just pay regular taxes on it. But the thing is, most of the time at retirement age, you're gonna have medical bills anyway. So it's probably better just to keep on saving it and use it for medical expenses. This is the first page I always go through with clients when explaining HSAs. But now the most important thing is how to get the HSA set up if the client is interested in this. And I have a second page that details out exactly what is it that the client needs to do or needs to know about when it comes to setting up an HSA. So if you want to see this part in detail, just write visual in the comments below. I'll send you the 2-page PDF. So using this visual has been helpful for me and my team because we just pull up this visual, this PDF for them, and we share it on the screen, especially when we're doing Zoom calls. We just share it with the screen and we go through each one with the client. It makes it so easy for everyone to understand. And for the tax professionals, When it gets busy, we're not going to remember everything all at once. So sometimes it's just good to have this with us so we can make sure that we cover all the most important points, especially these 5 important points. And if the client is interested, we go to the second page and we go through, okay, how do you set the HSA up for the client and what do they need to know to set it up correctly? If you found this content helpful, just give it a like. And if you want a copy of this visual, just write visual in the comment. But I think most importantly, if you have a colleague or someone that could benefit from this visual, why don't you share it with them?